Welcome everyone. It is Friday morning. We have made it. It is February the 9th, and we have at least made it to the second week of February, which is good. Good morning, Eris. Thank you for doing your mod stuff and being you. Excuse me. And Flash Fran 85 and Squid Pro Quo. Good morning. Last night was terrifying hilarious. God bless Shizzy for making me feel better about our country going to absolute heck in a handbasket. Good morning, Greedy Bloke. And M169, good morning, Jason J. Good morning, everyone. Fry has left the building. He's off to make sure the cats are doing what they're supposed to be doing and or getting beat up by the cats. Anything is possible. In our first news story, did anyone have volcanoes? Volcanoes? Oh, no. Was that because they were trying to stream Tucker Carlson and he shall not be named interview? Mother-in-law couldn't contain her attitude when Mr. Squid picked up baby girl. He told me he doesn't. Oh, no. Ah, well, democracy dies in dumbness. Anywho, volcanic eruption in Iceland subsides, but there might be more volcanoes on the way. I was pretty sure that Iceland was just full of volcanoes and this is kind of a regular occurrence. Well, oh no. But you win. It's a temporary win for you. He agrees with you for right now. I say go with it, at least for now, while I try to figure out why my lights are making me look yellow. I don't know. I need a lightologist. That's all there is to it. I got myself a brand new fancy dancy camera, and that's all I need is something fancy that I have no idea how to work. A volcanic eruption in southwestern Iceland appears to have subsided, though scientists are warning that the area may experience further eruptions in the coming months. You know, I would okay it, but uh why can't people just be normal? I know that's a trick question because I myself dressed up as a dude last night, so I don't even qualify on the spectrum of normal, but there you go. Yeah, I mean, you'd think it'd kind of be like, and today, volcanoes, and tomorrow, volcanoes. Iceland's meteorological office said late Thursday that the eruption had decreased significantly. The eruption began about 8 a.m. local time on Thursday in an area northwest of Mount whatever that is. Starts with an S, ends with a fell, the Met Office said. It prompted the evacuation of the popular Blue Lagoon thermal spa and cut off heat and hot water to several communities. Well, yikes. Ew, cut the cord. I mean, Prime Minister Katrin Jacobsdottir said authorities hope to restore hot water to the area by midday on Friday. National broadcast. Well, it's a good thing it's not cold in Iceland. Oh, wait. Uh, well, there you go. The eruption site is about 4 kilometers or 2.5 freedom units northwest of Grindelwald, a coastal town of more than 3,800 people that was evacuated before a previous eruption on December 18th. The town wasn't threatened by Thursday's eruption. A Benedict Ofelskisson? Look, I have no idea. A geophysicist at the Icelandic Met Office told RUV that the area can expect an eruption every month or so for over the next few years. Oh my god, Iceland's going through puberty. You've become a woman. Happy Friday, JKD Buck. Fry, I love you to death, dumpster puppy, but this you have eaten the stuffing out of this. Your favoriteest animal is going in the trash. In other news, the world's sexiest athlete, and I know what you're thinking, David Hasselhoff hasn't even done, track in years, but apparently her name is Alicia Schmidt, claims she turned down a six-figure sponsorship with deal despite barely making a quote unquote living at her sport. A German track star who has been dubbed the world's sexiest athlete said she turned down a hefty payday from a well known sponsor despite barely earning any money. Rybert, you are a dingus. Stop. Let's see. Despite earning barely any money from her sport, Alicia Schmidt, 25, who has garnered millions of followers on social media, said she recently turned down a sponsorship that would have paid out thousands of dollars to her because she wasn't completely sold on the company. Quote, 2 months ago, I received an offer from a well-known brand. Oh, was Kanye trying to get her to wear some Yeezy wear? Uh, but she wasn't at 100% behind it, Schmidt told the OMR podcast, according to German newspaper Bild. I don't feel comfortable with that. That would have been to the mid to high six figures for a campaign. Schmidt earns her income from social media, sponsors, partnerships, and even a small salary as a member of the German national team. In October, she revealed that athletes on the national team only get paid approximately $739 a month in sponsorship deals, which are streamlined through SportLife, the German sports aid foundation that provides financial support to top athletes. That's a tracksuit? Okay. Look, she's a very beautiful woman. I mean, there you go. At the time, she also said athletes can receive money through a team or organization they are part of, like Schmidt's C or SC Charlottesburg, along with winning prizes at races. Schmidt's, who is currently enrolled in remote learning course for media and communications management, has also made her presence known in the modeling industry when not running or learning. The influencer who has a clothing line with fashion company Hugo Boss, I'm not gonna make the obvious joke there, walked the runway for the designer in the 2023 Milan Fashion Week. Sal, I'm sure you could send that suggestion right into her Instagram, private message thing or, whatever they call private messages on Instagram. I don't know, but there you go. Let's see. Schmidt's Instagram, which boasts nearly 5 million followers, features a mix of the 25-year-old running and competing in track events alongside paid partnership posts featuring her campaign with Hugo Boss. I always look like this when I'm going to the gym. That's exactly how I look, you guys. Hair all done, makeup on, no shirt for some reason. Kelly, I guess I will be covering that because I did not know that it was actually happening this morning. I have been kind of subsumed by Delphi, so I definitely need to look into that and make sure I've got something going on with my lights. I have no idea. I'll figure it out later. Thank you for the Shizzy raid, but I can look at the time and I, well, if it's happening right now I will I will have to catch up to it live, but I can probably do that. I will have to take Fry out for a potty break, but yes, I can definitely cover Friberto, I am trying to be serious right now. We are done. No, it's time for you to go to your bed. Let's see. The athlete who went to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics with the national team but did not compete is hoping to qualify for the Paris Games this summer, but she needs to drop her time by 1 second as her personal best is 52.8 seconds. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, well, let me see if I can find Sarah Boone while we are doing stuff. I have no problem. I am flexible. So far, it doesn't have one or it doesn't have a feed up yet, but I'll keep looking on Court TV and Law and Crime. Fry is very good at almost listening to me. He is very good. So there you go. She is almost going to run, and I'm sure yeah, there you go. In other news, who had mutant wolves from Chernobyl, because that is why we are here. Mutant wolves roaming Chernobyl exclusion zone have developed cancer-resilient abilities. And thank you, Flash fan. It is the 9th. How about that? New York Post, you're gonna start getting fined for these puns, I swear. Mutant wolves that run or roam the human-free Chernobyl exclusion zone have developed cancer-resistant genomes that could help be the key to help humans fight the deadly disease, according to a study. The wild animals have managed to adapt and survive the high levels of radiation that have plagued the area after the nuclear reactor at Chernobyl power plant exploded in 1986, becoming the world's worst nuclear accident. Humans abandoned the area after the explosion leaked cancer causing radiation into the environment. A 1,000 square mile zone was roped off to prevent further human exposure. But in the nearly 38 years since the nuclear disaster, wildlife has reclaimed the area, including packs of wolves that seem to be unaffected by chronic exposure to radiation. Hmm. Well, I don't know. Kara Love in evolutionary biology and what in the heck did you just press? No. Let's see. An exotoxicologist in Shane Campbell Station Lab at Princeton University has been studying how the mutant wolves have evolved to survive their radioactive environment and presented her findings to the annual meeting of the Society of Integrative and Comparative Biology in Seattle, Washington last month. In 2014, Love and her colleagues went inside the Chernobyl exclusion zone and put GPS collars equipped with radiation dosimeters on wild wolves. As you do, they also took blood samples from the animals to understand their responses to cancer causing radiation, according to a release published by the Society of Integrative and Comparative Biology. With thank you for being a member for 2 months, Slinky. It's on your nephew's bucket list to hunt that area. Uh, it's on my youngest son's bucket list to go to Area 51 and see the aliens, but I think that would be pretty cool too. Not sure about and thank you for being a member for 2 months too, Jude Curio. With the specialized collars, researchers can get real time measurements of where the wolves are and how much radiation they're exposed to, Love said. They learned that the wolves were exposed to 11.28 millirem of radiation daily for their lifespan, more than 6 times the legal safety limit for humans. The Chernobyl wolves' immune system appears different than normal wolves, similar to those of cancer patients going through treatment, researchers found. Love pinpointed specific regions of the wolf's genome that seem to be resilient to increased cancer risk, the release states. The research could be key to examining how gene mutations in humans increase the odds of surviving cancer, flipping the script on many known gene mutations like BRCA that cause cancer. The Chernobyl dogs, descendant from former residents' pets, also possess similar cancer resilience, though they haven't been studied in the same way as their wild cousins. Dogs were immediately in the area after the disaster and have adapted better than other species like birds, which experienced extreme genetic defects as a result of the toxic radiation. The findings are especially valuable as scientists have learned that canines fight off cancer more similarly to the way humans do than do lab rats. Well, that's how about we not torture animals? How about we not do that? Oh, no, thank you. I am having all the technical difficulties. Uh, Unfortunately, Love's work has stalled somewhat as she and her colleagues have been unable to return to the Chernobyl exclusion zone, first due to the COOF, and then because of, the troubles between, that place that we can't talk about and those people we keep sending money to, as you do. No glove, no love, people. I keep telling you all this, but we're running out of penicillin. I Unlike our president, I really am not joking. We really are running out of penicillin. As syphilis cases soar out of control, doctors are urged to ration penicillin because there is an insufficient supply. Everyone start making moldy bread. Just saying. Doctors are being forced to ration penicillin as syphilis cases soar amid out of control rise of STDs. Y'all, I thought how do we have such disparate stories? Because one story I almost pulled said that Gen Z is having less smexy time than, any other generation, and now we're running out of all of the penicillin. I need someone to explain this to me. So either we have, like, a couple of really active people that are ruining it for the rest of us, or it's the villages, isn't it? I knew it was the villages. It's always been the villages doing this. Uh, 2 antibiotics are used to treat syphilis, an injectable penicillin and an oral drug called doxycycline. Penicillin is also used to treat infections caused by bacteria such as meningitis, pneumonia, gonorrhea, and syphilis. All the gonorrhea. Unlike an antibiotic, which requires sticking to a 2-week regimen, the shot is a one and done method. Maybe we should make people be responsible. According to CDC data, more than 170,000 cases of syphilis were reported back in 1951. Now, that dropped dramatically because of antibiotics, and by 1998, that number dropped below 40,000. Let's see what this year was. And no, they're just gonna use scary fear porn to get us all worried about stuff, but no telling us how long or how many tests there are. It's kind of heartwarming and scary at the same time. It's scare-rousing, if you will. Like, "Oh, I'm glad, when you go to the home, you can still have fun." I am on Rumble. I am on Rumble. Let me get my heading on. Do, do, do. I should have my heading on somewhere, but me yeah, I'm on Mo in the Deep on Rumble, so I can be reached there. So there you go. Make sure to stay safe out there, people. Now, this story is it sounds like it's getting a little hinky because 2 moms are claiming that very bad things happened to them while they were on a cruise. Wait, it blocked a chat? Unless that for the love of all that is holy. Look, I am not gonna presume anyone had the talk, but it seems like these 2 women made this claim, and I don't wanna doubt these women, but it also looks like surveillance footage doesn't match what they're saying. So we'll have to wait for more of this to come out. But a Bahamas report where 2 moms say they were drugged and assaulted by staffers alleges surveillance footage doesn't match claims. A Bahamas resort where 2 Kentucky mothers claim they were drugged and raped by 2 employees said that the woman's account of what happened does not match security footage. Amber Shearer and Dungala Dobson said they were assaulted in broad daylight by staffers at Pirates Cove while relaxing on the beach while their Carnival cruise ship was docked on Grand Island in the Bahamas. The longtime friends said they were offered a drink special by an employee, but after just 15 minutes began to feel incredibly intoxicated, as opposed to how I Fry never change. Stay right outside your bed. Well, there you go. You Ah, they be they claim they began to feel incredibly intoxicated. They state that they were ushered by staff members into a secluded area to look for shells, then they were assaulted by a man in a uniform. The pair, covered in cuts and bruises, reported the assault to the Royal Bahamas Police, who later arrested 2 men, a 40-year-old South Bohemia and a 54-year-old man of 8 Mile Rock. Police said the investigation remains ongoing, but Private Cove claims that the surveillance footage reveals that the 2 women's accounts don't add up. Now, upon further review of the surveillance videos, the allegations made on site and in subsequent social media posts and news stories conflict with the time-stamped surveillance video, Pirates Cove Beach Resort said in a statement without divulging further details, Mail reported. Pilot I love English, and if I could speak it, I'd be great at this. Pirates Cove also confirmed that 2 employees had been fired, saying whatever conduct they engaged in on the tape indicates at the minimum they violated our zero tolerance policy. Carnival Cruise Line confirmed to the Post on Wednesday that 2 guests aboard the Carnival Elation reported the assault, which occurred while, quote, "on an independent shore excursion." Our onboard care team provided support for the 2 guests as they sailed back to Jacksonville, the company said. Dobson and Shearer remember being on the beach almost immediately feeling as if something besides alcohol was in their cocktails. Less than a few sips into the second drink, we knew something was wrong, something was terribly wrong, Shearer told News Nation's Cuomo. Even their loved ones were concerned after speaking with them on video, she said. She recalled waking up in horror. I came to in the process of my assault, she said through sobs. They said they don't believe their allegations were properly handled and the cops didn't administer the test kit at their request. Back on the cruise ship, the moms received the results of their toxicology test, which showed they had a plethora of non legal street pharmaceuticals in their system, including non prescribed benzodiazepines. They had notably minimal alcohol in their bodies and bruising on their legs. Just 5 days before their vacation, Bahamian Prime Minister Philip Davies insisted that the country was, quote, "a safe destination for tourists." The U.S. Embassy in the Bahamas released a security warning and travel advisory last month saying that the island nation is currently unsafe for tourists amid 18 unalivings, primarily motivated by gang violence in January alone. The State Department issued a level 2 advisory on January 26th, over a week before the 2 American women were allegedly assaulted. Dobson and Shears, who had never left the country before, said Carnival should have warned them about the dangers in the Bahamas. All right. No, again, you both have access to one of these things. Mine is incredibly dirty right now. I need to wipe it off because my son was playing with it while I was trying to get him to brush his hair. But it's called if you are gonna go somewhere, have knowledge of something. You can look it up. You have access to more information than any other generation alive on the planet. You can it where is the onus on anyone else to tell you something when you can research it yourself? I don't get that. Again, I'm not yelling at these women, I just quote, "We had no idea what was going on in the Bahamas, none whatsoever." Now, I have watched way too much CSI and Not Without My Daughter and Lifetime movies that I am researching anywhere I go to make sure there is not like a Hostel or a Saw movie or some kind of weird Final Destination thing cult going on there. I have watched way too many movies. I would have like I'm like, nope. We were targeted from the moment we were spotted. The woman's attorney, Nicholas Gerson, told News Nation that Carnival has, quote, "a legal duty to warn about dangerous conditions they should have known about." Carnival actually markets this particular excursion on their website. They actually profit from the excursion. Yes, every business wants to profit. I understand. And I understand that they market the excursion with the other area, but again, the onus is on you. Your safety is should be you should be your own biggest advocate for your safety. You should be aware and alert to different things. I mean, yes, Carnival should have a how many people actively pay attention to the little warning thing that they do at the beginning of airplanes? How many people sit there and rapidly pay attention every time they fly to, these are the seats and this. So even if someone does tell you, are you paying attention? You are darned if you do, darned if you don't. And while Pirates Cove could be covering their butts, you know, it just again seems very interesting. In other news, sheriff's deputies corral a wayward kangaroo, not in Australia, but in Florida, in an apartment complex. Who is the tiger king that is buying kangaroos? Mutant deers. I already have a thing against deer, and now we're bringing mutant deer onto the shores of this country. That's a hard pass for me. A wayward kangaroo was corralled safely by sheriff's deputies Thursday after it was spotted hopping around a pool area of a Florida apartment complex. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office released a video and still photographs of the kangaroo, including some footage shot from a helicopter. The agency also released audio of a female resident of the complex calling in to report it. Uh, can you imagine this 911 call? 911, what's your emergency? I see a kangaroo. It's kind of a large kangaroo. We've got him closed in the pool area. Ma'am, what did you take? No, it's really a kangaroo. Lurleen, tell her. Ma'am, it's really a kangaroo. We were out smoking our Pall Malls with our Pabst Blue Ribbon, and it was we're just afraid an alligator's gonna come get it. Deputies were able to figure out the animal's owner and reunite them after checking them for proper registration. Are you licensed for that kangaroo? Well, of course, my good man. I have my kangaroo license right here. You can apparently get a kangaroo license in Florida. Give up. I I can I can no longer handle this. Fast foodies are getting fed up with price hikes at the drive-through. Yeah, and you know what else I'm getting fed up with? Is if I do maybe want just like a my meal, I would love for someone who is worth getting 15 or 18 or $25 an hour to not screw up my meal. I would love that. Look no further than the fast food drive-through for evidence of inflation fatigue. Fast food or food companies have been passing along higher labor and ingredient costs to customers long after inflation peaked at 9.1% in June 2022. Diners are getting fed up, eating less fast food and griping on social media that their go-to cheap meals aren't so cheap anymore. Sales show it. McDonald's reported underwhelming results in the fourth quarter, and Yum Brands showed weaker than expected growth in its top brands, which included KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. Fast food executives are taking note. Again, you guys keep voting for, $20 an hour for fast food. You know, again, working at McDonald's is not supposed to be a career. I don't know how to say this any unless you wanna become a manager. I was never a fan, but I do like the color. Fast food executives are taking note. McDonald's CEO Chris Kempinski told, uh, analysts Monday that consumers are becoming more discriminating with their dollars. He promised the company would focus more on affordability this year. It's almost like some people were warned if you kept raising prices. And never mind. Kapinski noticed that consumers earning 45,000 or less annually were favoring comparatively cheaper groceries over Mickey D's, opting to cook their own meals more often. This might be a good thing. I mean, people learning how to cook, people learning how to take care of themselves, make better, more healthy meals, engage with their families. Okay. Eating at home has become more affordable, he said. The battleground is certainly with that low income consumer. Some common grocery items have been falling in price. In the Bureau of Labor Statistic Consumer Price Index, the food at home category rose only 1.3%. No, food is still hella expensive. I believe so. My irritation is when I get that, every once in a great big blue moon, I want like just a Whopper, and I just want a plain one with mustard, and a plain Whopper with mustard just means no cheese, and then they ask me, "Would you like cheese with that?" I'd be like, "I'll say no," because then I'd say, "I want a cheeseburger." I don't want a cheeseburger, I want a hamburger. But I'm a weirdo, so, yeah, I don't do Kentucky Fried Chicken. Mm. Yeah, so basically, people are noticing that the dollar menus are definitely becoming smaller and the prices for things are becoming greater. That's why I keep telling my kids when they get home from practice, they're like, "Oh, can we stop at McDonald's?" No, we have food at home. I am the world's meanest mother, but I'm okay with that. Uh, Teen leads Florida police on 100-mile-per-hour chase for quote unquote fun because he didn't think he'd get caught. It was a slow Tuesday. Wha You know, nothing is as smart as a 19-year-old running from the police because funsies. A 19-year-old man is behind bars after he allegedly led Florida cops on a 100-mile-per-hour chase for fun. Marion County Sheriff Corporal Jordan Tripp was at a stoplight around 10:30 p.m. on Sunday when a 2002 BMW went flying through the light at 100 miles per hour, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit reviewed by Law and Crime. Tripp turned on his emergency lights and started chasing the car. The driver, identified as 19-year-old Michael Joseph Gonzalez, later spun out on a curb and left the road. Tripp drove up to Gonzalez, but he sped off, the affidavit said. Gonzalez allegedly continued his speedy joyride at 90 miles per hour, running other cars off the road. Tripp tried to spin the car out, but was unsuccessful, and Gonzalez sped away again. Because Gonzalez was going so fast, Tripp decided to stop chasing him. About 30 minutes later, other deputies spotted Gonzalez pulling into a 7-Eleven gas station. Officers conducted a felony traffic stop and took Gonzalez into custody. Uh, Quote, post Miranda, the driver advised that he had fled from law enforcement because he thought he could get away with it and it would be fun, the affidavit said. Deputies arrested Gonzalez on a charge of fleeing and eluding with wanton disregard for persons and property. They took him to Marion County Jail. Gonzalez has since posted a $5,000 bond. His next court date is scheduled for March 5th. Oh, his mom probably threw all the flip-flops at his head. I can only imagine. I would be so irritated, you have no idea. Alright, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but we have what is this headline? We have another person for Snake Island. Man with quote unquote "deranged fantasies," and with this picture, I just can't see how. But we have another candidate for Snake Island. This might be their king. Or that's the wrong one, for flip's sake. It's a Friday. This one. But he also was in Florida, so I was right and I didn't even know it. No problem, Eris. A man with quote unquote deranged fantasies brought enema and chocolate syrup to meet someone he thought was a 13-year-old boy. You know what? I have changed my general punishment to can someone help me build a trebuchet? And can we make it launch into the sun? Asking for a friend. What the actual shnikes, my dear sir, dude, guy. This guy is a Floridian. Jurors in Hernando County, Florida, on Tuesday convicted a man for trying to meet up with someone he believed was a 13-year-old boy. Prosecutors said that deputies found Christian Bert Fisher, 42, with an enema, love gloves, a hairbrush. He had also just tossed away a full bag of a bag full of a box of chocolates, a bottle of chocolate syrup, a bag of gummy rings. Okay, I don't generally vote for Gen Pop justice in Minecraft, but what the actual hell? Yes, this is a good thing to have. She wants to brush her teeth. Unless she just wants to eat toothpaste, then that is bad because they want to eat toothpaste and they will get sick. I uh, d just just quote, "Not only was it disturbing that Fisher was willingly agreed to meet up with a minor for grossness, but he brought items with him that would have enabled him to carry out his deranged fantasies." A said Fifth Judicial Circuit State Attorney William Bill Gladson. If you came across someone online who's attempting to entice a juvenile, don't wait. Contact law enforcement immediately. Your tip can help ensure a safer digital community for our children. According to prosecutors, a citizen made up a fake profile pretending to be a minor. This person wanted to find people who preyed on children. Fisher reached out, believing this to be a 13-year-old boy. Quote, during the message exchange with the citizen, Fisher not only acknowledged the age of the child, but went on asking if they'd ever just so gross. Yeah, directly onto Snake Island, covered in said chocolate sauce, gummy bears, and dear Lord, what is wrong with people? In better news, the Puppy Bowl celebrates a big anniversary this year, one that shelter and rescue puppies will cheer. The annual Puppy Bowl turns 20 this year, well over middle-aged in dog years. But does sheer cuteness of it really get old? Quote, "Who doesn't want to watch dogs play all day long?" asks Lori Johnson, the director of Florida Little Dog Rescue in St. Cloud, Florida, who has been part of quote unquote Puppy Bowl for a decade. There were some changes this year to the canine football telecast. Four previous puppy players returned to be inducted into the new Puppy Bowl Hall of Fame, and the show, which has grown to include armadillos, hedgehogs, and chickens, will focus on dogs. Quote, "What we have done this year is to flip the whole script because it's sort of a celebration of the fact that it's the 20th year," says the Puppy Bowl referee, Dan Schneider? "We've decided to go all in on puppy, making it the most puppiest Puppy Bowl ever." I mean, how could you be sad if you've got a Puppy Bowl going on? The Puppy Bowl made its debut as counter-programming to the Super Bowl in 2005. Dogs scored touchdown on a iron carpet when they crossed the goal line, any goal line with a toy. The show is really just an excuse to spend time watching adorable, clumsy puppies in colorful sweaters play with chew toys, wag their tails furiously, and lick the camera. A deeper reason is to encourage animal adoption. Let's see. Quote, we always say the same message every year. Adopt, don't shop," says the ref. There are responsible breeders out there, but it kind of defies logic that someone who's searching for a dog would look beyond their local rescue or shelter. According to the ASPCA, approximately 390,000 shelter dogs are put to sleep each year and 2 million shelter dogs are adopted. The ref says the number of animals languishing in shelters is backed up after falling behind during the pandemic. It's even worse than ever, he says. Florida Little Dog Rescue, which, like all puppy groups, is vetted by Animal Planet, sent 7 pup players and 2 Hall of Famers this year. Jason, who or Johnson, who also volunteers her time, says it's an honor that Planet picks her pups year after year. It does bring attention to our rescue, which helps some of our other dogs get adopted. But honestly, for us, the biggest excitement is that we're helping dogs all over the country get into homes because rescue is not a competition, it's cooperation. Most of the puppies are usually adopted by airtime since the show is filmed in the fall, but the point is to show that the animals, just like the ones on the show, can be found at any shelter at any time. Uh, The ref also has some advice for anyone who falls for a particular pup on the broadcast. That animal is probably part of a litter, right? So there's probably siblings out there that are still up for adoption, or their parents, their mom and dad, is in a shelter looking for a forever home. Florida Little Dog Rescue was the first to send a Shar to the Puppy Bowl. The pup Wrinkles was quickly adopted by a crew member at the taping, and Johnson says many viewers might not know that all kinds of breeds, corgis, westies, doodles, and cavapoos are included are available at shelters and rescue groups. The inaugural Puppy Bowl was watched by nearly 6 million viewers. Last year, 13.2 million viewers tuned in, the largest reach for the event in 5 years. In comparison, the Emmy Awards gotta love it. You ridiculous, up your own behind Hollywood people were beaten by puppies. Reached just 4.3 million viewers. This year's show will be simulcast across Animal Planet, Discovery, TBS, True TV, Max, and Discovery. The dogs are split into two teams, Team Fluff and Team Rough, and each dog is given a nickname like Slick Rick, J Paw, and a specialty like Epic End Zone Dance. They are free to frolic, but may face penalty for things like unsports-like dog conduct and trash barking. Awards are given to the most valuable puppy, and new this year, an Underdog Award for the more introverted pup. This year's broadcast is built on the work of dozens of volunteers, as well as 600 pee pads, 200 poo bags, 10 bags of treat, 30 water bowls, and 18 cameras. The cat halftime show will also return. They had a ref starting 13 years ago when more than 59 dogs were invited. I'll never forget that because I thought there was a tremendous amount of dogs to try to officiate in one place. The number has now doubled, with this year's broadcast featuring 131 puppies. The scope and size of this show from the time I started 13 years ago until now is very impressive. The canine entries this time come from 73 shelters and rescue groups across 36 states and territories. Entrance requirements include being healthy and sturdy enough to be on the field with playmates between 3 and 6 months old and having no training. We don't want dogs that are show dogs that are sitting there with a trainer. We want to see them in all their puppy glory. Part of the show is that the puppies are in their true state, says the ref. They play, they're curious, they're going to get into trouble, they're going to do crazy things, and from time to time, they're going to score touchdowns and really impress you. So there you are. Puppy Bowl is coming up. That's all we need. Look, we need some good Puppy Bowl because Triumph might get to go to the after party. I don't know. He might have fathered some of the puppies, to be honest. Now, I am still looking for, any news on when the Sarah Boone hearing might be, but I will be sending you guys to, Baker with the Adam Montgomery trial. I will keep looking, I will try to post in X if I see the Sarah Boone, any info come up, and, um, Fry, I have no idea why you sleep like that. Oh, we might not have a live feed for Sarah Boone. Of course Well, probably because the judge is gonna say, "What in the hell is actually wrong with you? You done drove 7 lawyers to drink more and you ran off a judge." I mean, how bad do you have to be to run off a judge for the love of Lemmy? So but other than that, I will definitely be working on part 2 of the Delphi Franks memo, and then hopefully get to section 3, and hopefully finish up that memo, uh, that bit of the memo, and then, do a video on the Indiana Supreme Court, uh, sort of official ruling, kind of official things going on there, and then we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, hopefully, I can get all of that done today and figure out what my lighting is doing. We never know. But I will see you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I love finding all these fun stories and weird things in the news. I am a news junkie, so and Mr. Mo thanks you because now I don't bother him with all of my weird stories all the time and all my trial stuff. He's like, "You have found friends. I am so happy for you." I never want to hear about Daryl Brooks ever again. So, have a wonderful day. Hopefully, you have a great weekend, and I should be hanging out with Baker and Sal and maybe get a Groves stream in this weekend. I am trying to do all of that stuff and more in theory. Have a great day, guys. Bye.